We've got some sound. Oh, I think we've got some sound. I think we might be on. Evening all, if we are. As per usual, if we're live, give us a thumbs up under the thing so I know it's working. Or type a comment or something. Funny colour again tonight. I don't know what, so I need to reset my cameras and things, I think, here. Never mind. Evening, David. Marvellous. I mean, must mean something's working. Let's put a proper screen up as well. There we go. Should we have some red background? Might clash with my red shirt a bit. Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Marvellous, marvellous. Right, let's see who we've got. We have got just 4 things finishing tonight. Should we zoom in a little bit? There we go. The Assign, the Grand National Racer, the 3-ball 9 Cup, which is basically brand new, as in unused rather than being made yesterday, I mean, and a Jubilee. So there we go. So if anyone's got any questions on those as they're finishing midnight, let me know. Another one of my little signs I painted a few years back, which hopefully somebody will like, hang up in their games room or whatever. Zoom that back again a bit. Then let me know. Evening Peter, evening Paul. Marvellous. Yeah. For some reason, when I tried to set the live stream thing up this morning before I went over to Leamington, it wouldn't let me schedule it for the usual time at 8:05. I don't know why. YouTube, in their wisdom, have decided to change settings yet again. So now you can only schedule streams to start on the quarter hour for some strange reason. I always did it for 8:05 because I thought, well, if somebody's watching something on the telly or whatever, it finishes at 8. That gives you 5 minutes to get yourself organised and come and watch this. There we are. We should still start them at 8:05. There will just be, when it pops up on your notification, it will say 8 o'clock. But there we are. Not to worry, not to worry. So there we are. Right, so those bits are finishing tonight. Thanks to those of you who have already ordered your copy of the DVD. If you haven't done it already, why not? Pull your fingers out, get it ordered. Go to the homepage, the link there to the website. It's on a separate website. Principally to keep the finances of the two things separate, so that the Collector Connected website isn't financing DVDs and vice versa. Because in due course, may well do I've got some other ideas for some films to make as well. I know lots of interesting people with lots of interesting collections of all sorts of stuff. And I'd like to make some more if this one works out okay. Hence, they're not all going to interest everybody who's on the website, if you see what I mean. So that's just the reason why they're separate. Cockpit have asked. But the details are on here. Anyway, there's options from just a straight DVD to DVDs with the tickets to the launch event at Easter, Boris permitting, of course, or whoever we've got as a Prime Minister by then. Or if you're feeling a bit more flush, you can have it with a special thanks credit. Will go on the end of the DVD as your appreciation to supporting the production costs. And if you're feeling really flush, then you can be an associate producer as well, and you get your name officially on IMDb. So then you can, brag to your mates down the pub that you're now a film producer. There you go. So there's everything there from £25 up to £135, depending how flush you're feeling or how much you can persuade your other half to treat you for Christmas. So there we are. There's that. Get your orders in. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 days, we'll get down to doing some filming. Evening, Peter. Now, while I was over in Leamington today, I did get a couple of quick snaps. I remembered as I was walking out the door of the thingy, selector colour, UFO big machine thingy-majiggle, which I put here somewhere. What have I done with them? No, one button, hang on a minute. Yeah, there we go. That's, yeah, right, there we are. Sorry, it's a bit of a crap photograph, but it was just a quick snap on my phone because I'd sort of forgotten to take a proper camera with me. So there it is. So it stands about, I don't know, I didn't measure it stupidly, but sort of a good 5 foot high or more, 5.5 foot high, something like that. You can see on the top there's a bit of gaffer tape around it holding the panels in, but where there was a panel, I'm not sure if it's missing, as in it's not there, it might be in the cash box or something, but it's not in it at the minute. So I managed to stick my phone in and not drop it, and take a picture of the inside, which looks like, where's the other picture gone? Come on, you know you want to. Why isn't it? Ah, there we are. Yeah, looks like that, basically. So this, the centre bit is the inside of the door, which has the coin mechs and all the gubbins connected to it. Obviously a power cup underneath. And hence when I sort of looked before, I couldn't see a way of getting to the locks, even if I could reach down them somewhere to unscrew them. But all these doors, they kind of hinge downwards with all these mech gubbins on them. And underneath the cabinet is bolts for the hinges. So what I'm going to do when I get the machine home is I'll drill out the bolts that hold the hinges on, so that we should be able to get a whole door off without damaging the locks or anything else. But you'll see again on the, we go back to this picture. Oh, hang on a minute, what have I done? I want this to stop. Why won't that pause? Has it paused? It might have paused. Yeah, so those 8 player positions, every other one is blocked off, but it does appear that all the mechanism is there in each section. So I think it's probably blocked off for the licensing laws when the licensing laws changed, so that counted as 8 machines. It was licenses per player position. So rather than 1 license fee, you had to pay 8 license fees. I suspect that's when they blocked off 4 and made it into a 4 player. But it could be returned to an 8 player. Just need some extra coin slots, basically. So yeah, but it's in pretty good nick. So it's even got this, you can just see in the bottom of the pitch here, it's like a big canvas chute that collects the coins up from all 8 positions and drops them into the cash box in the middle. So even that's still there and in good nick. So yeah, good project for somebody. Nice to see it up and running. All its lights flashing around, looking to be UFO-ish. Why is my phone beeping at me? In a minute. Might be something that I need to do, is it? No, somebody wants to send me a message on Instagram. Okay. Let's just do this. Why does somebody want to send me a message on Instagram? Why won't my Instagram work? Hang on a minute. Accept. Might be something exciting. Somebody's sending a picture of a machine. Okay, I'll sort that out later on. Yeah, so there we are. I will get it home as soon as I've got space to get it here, get one of the panels open so we can have a proper look inside, and then get it listed and sold. Next time I might remember to measure it as well. It's probably a good 4 foot across, 5 foot probably, something like that. Because it's a big bulky thing, it's kind of difficult to measure. But yeah, funky, quite like it. Also looks very clean. Yeah, it's pretty clean. It's been dry stored. It's all fiberglass, the cabinet. And you know, the finish, I think it'll polish up. I think it's gel coated, the colour. So a bit of a tea cut and a buff. It probably can't really nice, I think. It's not like you know, fiberglass if it's been outside a long time ago, it's kind of powdery on the surface. So it's not like that. Evening, Darren. Evening all from Upton-on-Severn. Very nice too. So yeah, there we are. So that's that. What else do I need to tell you tonight? So those 4 bits of finishing. So yeah, over Christmas, New Year, in amongst everything else that's going on, I want to get up some new sections. So there'll be some new buttons appear across the top here for toys, circus stuff. What other things are we doing? Can't remember. Oh, like automobilia stuff, film posters and memorabilia, that kind of gear. All those other sort of categories that we used to sell. So I'll get those done once these bits are sold, because I've got to do a bit of fiddling around with the database, which might make the website go a bit funny again for a day or two. That's why I wanted to get these last few bits sold first before I started playing around with that. Hopefully it won't this time, after the last major rebuild, but just in case. I thought I wouldn't do it while there was anything live selling. So I'll get all those sections up online. Then I'm going to make this button bank customizable, because you're going to end up with quite a lot of, you know, probably another half a dozen more buttons on here. And some of you may well not be interested in certain sections, so you'll be able to sort of hide some of these buttons, so you don't end up with dozens of categories you're not really interested in, basically. And I'll just do some kind of little toggle switch, so you can turn them all back on if you need to, if you're just curious to see what's in, or then hide them again when you're not. If that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. But it says, looks great, definitely a Paul's Arcade maybe. Yeah. Darren says, do you have many neon signs going through the auctions? We used to get a few neons. If we look over here in the advertising section in the down in the database here, look, there's 73 they were sold in the past, various ones. Carlsberg, Coke, Coles, Red Bull, etc. And then other, there'll be all sorts in other. Scroll down here, see all the photographs. So yeah, we're just, because of what we've been doing over the past few months, we haven't really concentrated on advertising stuff. I sort of tried to bring it online a few months ago, but because there wasn't a lot of stuff in it, didn't kind of take off like the slot machines had done. So hence in the new year, we're kind of relaunching it again. There's quite a bit of advertising stuff here. I'll try to think if there are any neons coming in. Don't know. There may well be, because there is some more advertising stuff to come in. So just keep your eye out, basically. But yes, I like a neon sign myself, really. So hopefully we will get some in due course. But you can always put wanted ads up. Just hit the W icon on the top, the one that looks like binoculars, for looking for. And this is just my sample account. Click on place new ad, and then go to whatever it is, advertising art. There we go. And just put in there neon sign wanted, if it's a specific one, and the rough kind of value you're prepared to pay. And that'll appear in the wanted ads section, and hopefully tempt a few in. So yeah, hopefully we will get some in. Also, let's make a nice Easter attraction. What will? Oh, the spaceship thing. Yeah, if it rains, you can put the barbecue in it. But yeah. A fun thing. Yes, so these other sections will come online over the next, well, sort of after Christmas, basically. When I'm got a bit of peace and quiet to crack on with some programming. Most of the data, the actual data, like all the historic prices, is sorted out and uploaded into the database. So I just got to do a bit of jiggling around and make the other pages up, basically. And then yeah, there's a whole lot of fairground stuff here to go on. There's a load of advertising stuff to go on. There's toys to go on. What other stuff is here? There's big circus programs and posters. I'm trying to think where I put the posters. There is a heap of posters somewhere, if you like your circus stuff. So hopefully next year, sort of from January, it will be a lot busier. There'll be a lot more stuff going through. And that in turn will hopefully attract a load more buyers. There's always that crossover of, you know, I know a lot of the slot collectors like a bit of fairground art or the odd enamel sign, a bit of automobilia, etc., and vice versa. There's plenty of people who collect automobilia and signs who like the odd slot machine or who've got the odd slot machine, etc. Vending machines, especially the people who are into advertising, like the vending machines, of course, makes sense. And you know, the people who like their Americana, like a nice bandit, like a high top or a governor or something like that, and so on. So there's always that crossover market. So that all in turn should make the slot machine a bit busier again, hopefully. Which of course has always been our main kind of backbone of the business, really. So that's that. Coins, there's a load of coins here to do that someone sent in that are in years, which is quite good. If you're looking for a particular year, I think they're in like hundreds or 200s or whatever, good quantity anyway. So if you want all 1966 pennies, if you like your football, which I don't, but apparently 1966 was a good year for football, so somebody told me once, whatever. You can have all 1966 pennies in your football machine, or you know, whatever, all 1965 sixpences in your bandit if you were born in 65 or something. So yeah, a very enthusiastic customer that had a lot of coins that decided to sort them out like that. Don't think I'd have the patience, frankly. So I'll get those on in the next week or so as well. Yeah, this sort of thing make quite a good birthday present, really, I suppose, wouldn't it? There we are. What else do we need to talk about? Anybody got any comments, queries, suggestions, questions on these few bits that are finishing? Questions about the DVD? Anything in that? I've got somewhere on my computer a whole big long list of questions to ask Paul as we go around and film his collection. But if there's anything in particular any of you would like to know, then let me know. Ping me a message or an email or something. I'll add it on the list of questions. As I said before, the film will be not just a dry kind of starting at one end and walking along and going, well, this is a pusher, this is a bandit, this is a pinball machine, this is another pusher, and so on, because that'd just be boring. So it's more talking about Paul about his what would you call it, experience, whatever, I don't know what the word is really, as a collector over the years. And you know, particular machines that are favourites or pain in the arse to fix, or I don't know, have funny tales to tell where they come from, or whatever it is. So hopefully we can tie a lot of that together with some interesting little bits of chat about the machines, and if there's any machines left over that we haven't caught up in all of that lot, you know, then we'll go and do those as well. So there's 100 machines there, so I don't suppose we'll do all of them because you know, some will be quite similar, but we'll do as many as we can, certainly. Get some interesting stuff. And then that will be, well, as long as I can fit on a DVD, basically, which is about somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours, really. So a decent length of film. So even then, if you think, if you know, a minute per machine of 100 machines is over an hour and a half, so you can see there's a lot to cram in. But very good. Paul says he's got his story all planned. Marvellous. It saves me asking questions, doesn't it? I can just turn the camera on and listen, which would be good. So yeah, hoping to get, we might be able to squeeze in this week one day, maybe. It's getting very tight to Christmas, but I've got a couple of days free, so I'll have a word with Paul afterwards. And if it's free, we'll try and get some done this side of Christmas. It'll be several days filming all together. A lot of editing to put it all together. And then obviously it takes a few weeks to actually get it produced. And ready for Easter. And hopefully it'll be the first of many. There's a lot of interesting collections out there, as I say, of other machines, certainly, but other stuff as well. So yeah, I've got other people lined up, should we say. Let's have a quick look at the want. Does anybody want any new machines this week? Let's have a see. No, I don't think so. I think this is about the same as last week, really. New wants always arrive at the top, so this top line looks like it was last week, really. Big Allwins we're looking for. A Jubilee, look, we've got one of those selling at the minute, so hopefully whoever it was who wanted that will stick an offer in. Some of this stuff we've been looking for a while now. So, yeah, we're having to sort out over Christmas. Just keep an eye on that page. And see if we can find it for you. Spares as well. If you're rummaging about down the shed over Christmas, have a check on the spares page here for bits people are wanting, offering decent money for, so lots of bits there wanted. Yeah, we've sold 60 grand worth of spare parts over the years, would you believe it? Mad, isn't it? It's a lot of spare parts. But yeah, have a look, see if you can find any of these bits for people, help them fix their machines. And equally, again, if you want, if you're looking for a bit, just click the button, fill the form in, and your wanted ad will appear there on the website. Paul's free all week, that's handy. Pencil in Tuesday. So I've got a couple of things to do tomorrow. Well, I could move them, but Tuesday might be good. Unless it's freezing cold. How big is Paul shed? It must be huge. It is. It's a fair size if you've watched the little video. All right. Where is the little video? Do we want to watch the little video quickly? I'll run the little video while I finish on my cup of tea, because I sit here gabbering and my tea goes cold. So here we are. You can all have a look at how big Paul's shed is. I'll be back in 2 minutes. So when I was a kid growing up in the 1970s, trip to the seaside was not about the beach so much for me. It was about going to the fairground and going to the amusement arcade. I'd go in the arcade with my little bag of pennies, play the machines, but more interestingly, always try and seek out the man with a big bunch of keys, follow him round and look inside all the machines and see how they worked. And this here is the kind of stuff I used to love. So we're here in Paul Mitchell's incredible arcade. How many machines have you got here, Paul?
The last count was 33 pinball machines and the 66 slot machines.
99. Well, we need one more then in that case.
I need one more, yeah? I'll find somewhere to squeeze it, yeah.
Someone can squeeze it in. So the idea is we're going to make a documentary about this amazing collection, but more than just looking at each machine, which is kind of a bit boring. We want to talk to Paul about all the years of collecting, some of the fun finding some of the machines, some of the trials and tribulations of fixing them.
All the fun.
And now there'll be a few more tales to tell. So we need your support for this. We need people to pre-order the DVD basically, because it's a time-consuming job to film, edit, put together. We're hoping it'll be done by Easter, that's the plan.
That's the plan, yeah. Big day here at Easter.
Hope we have a launch here so you can come down, collect your DVD, have a play in the arcade.
Barbecue as well.
Barbecue as well, they are. Come and get a hot sausage and have a play on the machines. So that sounds pretty good to me.
Yep, and me.
Yeah, so there you are. Quite a big shed. 45 by 30. I think we're all jealous. I might have to talk to the planning department and see if I can put a big shed up like that. Would be, yeah, good, I think. There's one thing I keep getting asked, why aren't you filming your collection, Steve? Well, the answer is because mine isn't all displayed nicely like Paul's is, unfortunately, or various other collectors have got up and down the country. Mine's all in store all over the place. And I've never actually seen my own collection in one place at one time. Well, apart from, I mean, when we had the big arcade up at Botany Bay, a lot of it was in there. That's about as near as I ever got, I think, to getting all my collection out at once. So, yeah, one day I'll build a big shed, put it all in, and then I can film all mine as well. And you can all come around and have a look at it, which would be nice. Yeah. So, yes, that was a thumbs up for me for Tuesday. I think it might have been. So, yeah, hopefully I'll get a bit filmed before Christmas, and then I can start the edit, then put it all together and find out all the bits that we've got to fill in with. It's a long old job, a lot more work than most people realise. But it'll be good. Yeah, so as I say, so the website has looked a bit bare, and will look a bit bare for a few more days probably. And I'll start, there's a whole load of spares here, as I mentioned before, come in, which I've got to sort out, because some of them don't even know what they are. There's a batch in that's coming nicely labelled up, and there's another box that's arrived with no labels on anything. So I've got to scratch my head a bit and try and figure out what the bits are. Some of them might end up just being lever or bracket or something, and I have to hope somebody else out there knows what they are. And those coins as well, I'll sort those out, and things like that, little bits that people don't necessarily need to come and see, and start to get those listed, because I'm sure you've all got better things to do over Christmas than come over here. But if you do, you can. I'll be around probably most of Christmas. So, if you fancy a day out, a cup of tea and a mince pie, not that it's terribly exciting, but there we are. Definite shed envy. I think a lot of us have got shed envy. And yeah, I think when you see it properly, you'll have even more shed envy. So I predict a rise in shed sales come Easter next year. We'll all be at it. There was a thing, there was a TV series a couple of years ago, weren't there? Didn't that, what's his name do it, from Grand Design, something about sheds? Wasn't the best shed competition or something? I can't remember. There's been some quite nice sheds. Another project to do. Yeah, so it doesn't look like anybody's got any questions on these machines, which is good. So hopefully that means you're all going to put super offers in for them so we can get them sold. If you do buy any of these, I am around most of the time over sort of Christmas New Year, I think. Just get in touch and we'll sort out if you want to come and collect them. Alan came Friday to carry out. He's not due again until January the 7th or 8th or something like that. But he's going to, he said he'll sit down over Christmas and send me a list of the next sort of 2 or 3 months early next year, so we know whereabouts he's going to be. If you've got stuff to send in. So that's good. It seems to be working very well. With, you know, collecting and delivering at the same time. Working out quite well for people. Peter says, once you've seen Paul's collection, it would change your choice of collecting going forward. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I was saying to him when I was down there that, you know, his stuff, probably for many of us, will be the stuff we all remember playing when we were kids. But it's not the stuff I've ever collected. My stuff is all pretty much all interwar, really. Some early, some turn of the century stuff. Most of my stuff is 20s and 30s. I don't think I've got any post-war machines. Don't think I have. I think they're all almost all sort of 20s and 30s with a few late Victorian bits. I don't know why, it's just always what I've liked. People collect what they like. That's what makes it interesting talking to collectors. And this is why I think if this film does okay, so that I can go and do a load more, that's one of the interesting things, talking to people. Different people collect for different reasons and different methodology. What's the word? Different ways. There's a proper word and I can't think what the word is. It's bad, isn't it? Anyway, as in some people collect, I mean, if we talk about machines, the people who try and collect all the Brian's machines, so they collect a particular manufacturer, or some people just collect Bandits or just collect Allwins. Other people collect a certain era, which I suppose is what I do in a way. Other people just collect what they like or what they remember playing as a kid. So there's always different word that I can't think of, ways of putting a collection together. And it applies to everything, whether it be stamps or cars or slot machines or, you know, teddy bears and dolls, anything anybody collects. And there's always an interesting subject, I think, anyway. And people get you know, pretty passionate about their collection. It takes them a lifetime often to put a collection together. And yeah, it's sort of what triggers it, what motivates people to keep going. What, you know, you always try to find that elusive thing to add. You're always trying to improve your collection. Very few collectors sort of say, all right, that's it, I've done that now. You're always looking for something else, or looking to improve something, or trying to find the piece you haven't got, or better one, or something you've got that's not very good, and so on and so on. And collections kind of evolve over time as well. And yeah, I mean, over the years, there's been loads of people often that come to the auctions just to buy one machine. And you get chatting to them and say, oh, you'll be back. Oh, no, I only want one, And sure enough, 2 or 3 months later, they've perhaps bought or bandit, let's say. They come back again a few months later and say, oh, yeah, I've been thinking I've got quite like an Allwyn now. So, okay, yeah. And they buy an Allwyn, and then, you know, a few months later, they're back again and buy something else. And before they know where they are, like the rest of us, they've got a shed full of them. And again, I think that applies to most collectible things. Once you get that collecting bug, you're kind of stuck with it. Paul says, nearly everything in there I can remember playing years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I remember playing some of them as well. What was it? I stumbled across something. Oh, God, I remember playing that. I can't think what it was. And then I don't think I put it into that little 2-minute video in the end, but Paul's got a Gottlieb Airport pinball, which was actually the first ever machine I had. I was about, I don't know, how old would I have been? I was still at primary school, 8 or 9 maybe. And then that was when Mum used to go to a lot of antique auctions. It's an antiques dealer, and we were at an auction. I even remember what auction it is. It's Peter Bat's auction out at come to me in a minute, the place. Batty's auction. Gosh, what's the place? It's not there anymore. And anyway, with this auction, and Mum was buying, you know, chest of drawers and things, used sort of stuff, and there was this pinball machine, which I was just played on from the minute I got there until the end of the auction, and pestered Mum to buy it, and she did. £26 it costs, I remember. Funny, isn't it? Remember what these things cost? £26 then, which was 40 something years ago, was quite a lot of money, I guess. And yeah, they got home, it got hauled up to my bedroom upstairs here, where I am now, and stayed there a long time until it eventually went wrong and I couldn't fix it, and I sold it. But yeah, that quite a good few years, that one. That was actually my first ever machine. The next one I bought was a Mills High Top. I bought from a chap in Cambridge, and I've sold, I think, 3 times over the years. I recognise it when it comes back around again. It wasn't a particularly good one. And yeah, downhill from there, really, as you do. I'm trying to think of the place. No, if I saw it on a map, wouldn't I? It's let's have a think. Where is it? Let me see, I'm just looking up on my little map here. Should know, shouldn't I? So, no, I can't remember exactly. Never mind. It'll come to me. It's one of those things. It'll suddenly come to me. £26 for a pinball, those were the days. Yeah, weren't they just? They seem to make very good money at the moment, don't they, pinballs? I remember operating them in pubs years ago. It was quite a good wheeze for a little while. We used to pay about 250, 300 quid for them. Stick them in the pubs. They'd make that nearly in about 4-6 weeks usually. Sort of £50 a week or so they'd take. Then they'd sort of do the round of the pubs. They only lasted about a month in each pub. Then people got bored of them. You had to keep swapping them around. And then, yeah. So after 3 months or 4 months or something, you sell them again. And sold them what we paid for them. It was great wheeze. Because a good one, you could kind of buy a pinball machine for 300 quid, take £500 with it, and sell it for 300 quid again a few weeks later, or a few months later. Great. If only I'd have kept them all, of course. But there we are. If only. That's why we used to have lots of cranes in pubs as well, with miniature bottles of booze in. Around the West Country. I remember turning down a Brian's Foursquare. They wanted £18. I can only afford £15. Ah, yeah. £18 for a Foursquare. It's nearly £5 an all-win. Disgusting, isn't it? David said, downsizing, finally sold the 14 pin tables I had. That's quite a downside, isn't it? 14 pin tables down. Yeah, I haven't got any. Well, no, I've got a couple of early, a couple of 30s ones stashed away somewhere, which I kept. I thought they were quite interesting. But I haven't got any sort of full-size pin tables anymore. Yeah, I would like one again. They're good fun to play, but I don't really like the prices they are currently. Okay, I sold them 1 or 2, just kept my World's Fair. Maybe going to keep one, keep a good one. One I kind of wished I'd kept. It's not a particularly good machine, but just because it amuses me and my slightly childish sense of humour, it was the Bugs Bunny birthday ball with the carrot flippers. Because it's Bugs Bunny, really. I kind of go with Mickey Mouse and all that kind of jazz. I should grow up, really, shouldn't I? But I haven't grown up in all these years. It's not going to happen now. But yeah, that one actually did quite well on the site. It's funnily enough. But never mind. One day I guess I might come across one and buy one again. It's a shame that when, I mean, you don't see pinballs out on site anymore. Very, very rare. I don't know when the last time I saw one in an arcade was. 10 years ago, probably. Don't know if there are any anywhere. Might be an odd one here and there, perhaps. Trying to know where that was. Blackpool, I think. It's probably Blackpool. But badly maintained and such a ridiculously steep angle where you got about, 10 seconds play before the ball disappeared. Which is silly because they don't take any money. And again, when I was operating, I used to have them, well, not quite flat, but a very shallow angle to give a longer game play. But that meant they take more money because people had more fun with them and they'd challenge their mates in the pub or whatever. And then they take more money. It goes back to this thing of being amusing. Amusement machines are supposed to be amusing, not just gobble your money up as quickly as possible. Which is what pisses me off about arcades these days. They're just not amusing anymore, are they? But the only decent games you get these days really is some of the redemption games are quite interesting. Then you spend all afternoon getting 5,000 tickets for a lollipop or something. But at least some of the games are quite interesting in themselves. Operators went off pinballs as they need maintaining, unlike the videos. Yeah. Well, that wasn't that hard, even for me. I'm not fixed mechanical stuff. Pinballs were kind of on the limit. I had to learn quickly, but it was relatively easy on the self-test, and they just used to tell you, oh, switch 21 faulty or something. Which was fine, so I'd ring up Bob, what's it, down at Pinball Heaven. Pinball, yes, Bob that died, unfortunately. Anyway, say, oh, my switch 21's gone wrong. Or whatever, or coil 46. And there'd be one in the post next day, and just soldered one off and soldered one back on again. They weren't really that difficult to look after. I think people didn't bother look after them was the problem, other operators. Whereas every time I went to empty them, I'd do a test on them to make sure they were all right. I think the arcades just don't bother, do they? Just flick the big switch, turn the whole arcade on, and don't bother to check. That's how you end up with crap games that don't work and don't take any money. Then they chuck them out. Well, don't chuck them out now, but you know what I mean. It's a shame. And an arcade now is just a sea of AWPs, isn't it? One end to the other. But there we are. What do I know? Yes, any more from any more? What's the time? It's come up to 9 o'clock, which is usually when we sort of sign off, isn't it? Unless anyone's got anything they need to ask, or any bright ideas? Any comments, questions? Any aches and pains, moans and groans? Anybody want to slag Boris off, save me doing it? Dave said, that's what made arcades, all the bells and metal on metal clattering, loved it. Wasn't much after the war to like. No, that's the thing, isn't it? It's all beeps and flashy lights, and yeah, it's just not so tactile, are they? They're all the same. They're just boring. Whereas if you go, one of the old penny arcades, not as many, but if you go to Peter's Arcades, every machine is different basically, even though it might have, I don't know how many Allwins you've got in there, 20 Allwins or something, but they're all quite different Allwins. So every machine's different. They're different size, different shape, different form. They do something different. And it was the same when I had even my little travelling arcade, which only had 20 machines in, something like that. But they were all different. So my little travelling arcade used to sell 20 pennies for £1 to play the machines. So that was enough to play all of the machines, and everyone was different. So you got a good half hour's worth of fun or more for your quid. And again, when we had the big arcade up at Botany Bay, there was 150 machines in there, I think there was, at its height. And there, again, we strived to have as many different ones as we could find, basically. Some of them didn't take an awful lot of money. But it was to have that variety of stuff, and, to keep it interesting, keep people in there playing. The funny thing there was, we had regular customers who'd come in and buy £1 worth of old pennies and stand them there and put them in a pusher, a whole pound, to win what? 3 pennies back. We didn't change the pennies back, so you couldn't have ever won anything. I could never make that out. This was on, not particularly exciting pushers, which might be stood next to a £5,000 working model, which hardly anybody ever played for some strange reason. It's very old. Operating is a really strange thing. But it was trying to have that variety of stuff, and yeah, different ages, anything from the 20s up until the 60s probably, so a good span of years. Few electromechanical bits, not many, but we had a few Brenco bits and bobs over the years we found. Like the Wheel of Fortune thing and the Tip Tap, that sort of stuff. There's a few things that always took money. Ice hockeys always took good money. 2-player games, races always took money. Cranes always took money. Pushers always took money, although they're not very exciting, but they always took money. Fortune tellers, very good money takers. The funny thing there really was the bandits. We didn't have that many bandits. We had a few. They didn't particularly take a lot of money. But maybe again it was because we had that variety of so many interesting other things to play. Well, says, you walk in an arcade today and you back out again 30 seconds later. Yeah, I am. I find it frustrating. I take my nephew and niece to arcade sometime for it at the seaside, and you sort of wander around and there's just nothing for them to play. So it's really, I don't know. I suppose they must know what they're doing, but you do wonder. And you have the same problem at fairgrounds. I think I said before. You take, take little kids to a fairground these days, and half the fairground there's nothing for little kids to go on, like there was when I was a kid. And they kind of, 15 years ago or so, they all invested in these huge, great, big, whizzy machines for teenagers and kind of ignored the rest of the family trade. So all the good old-fashioned stuff disappeared off the fairgrounds, and all the little kiddie stuff disappeared off the fairgrounds pretty much. And you were left with great big whizzy teenage rides and really crap side stalls. And then teenagers all got iPhones, and that was it. Teenagers don't go to the fairground anymore, or hardly any. And if they do, they're wandering around with their heads buried in their iPhones instead of going on any rides. So you get Granny takes the grandchildren to the fair, nothing for them to go on. But the showmen have got these massive rides still on finance from 15 years ago, probably, that have still not paid for. And probably never will by the look of some of the fairs I go to. Very odd. But if you go somewhere like Carter's Steam Fair, is an obvious example, isn't it? Where they've got a lot of stuff for all ages, for the whole family to go on. It takes money. Or just up the road from Peter's at Yarmouth, Joyland, the little dinky little amusement park there. I've never been in there when it's not busy. Great place. So it's, yeah, it's really odd. We might have to see if we can find an arcade to go in for this for the DVD and just point out how crap it is. Although I suspect no arcade owner is going to want me filming in their arcade, saying how crap it is. So it might be a bit of a challenge. Might have to do it from across the road with a big zoom lens. I don't know, are there any good modern arcades around? If anybody can think of one, be interested to see it. By good, I mean, you know, just a variety of machines, really, some interesting stuff. Some stuff that is amusing to play. There's a challenge, find an interesting arcade. So if we could find a nice modern arcade, then we could be positive about the stuff that's in it, and then the arcade owner probably would let us film in there. Paul says they're all crap round his way. Coral Island, yeah, I suppose, yeah, Coral Island's not too bad. I mean, did I go? No, I didn't. When I was up in Blackpool last, earlier this year, I didn't go in. So it's probably 3 years since I've been in there, I should think. Well, that's good because it's so big, so they're kind of forced to have a bit of variety in there. Don't know. I mean, is their flag? Is it? I don't know. Do Noble still own it? I'm not sure if they do. It was their flagship arcade at the time. Don't you know who owns it at the moment? Still Nobles or not? But many years ago, I bought out of the Coral Island arcade, I bought the Hillbilly Shooting Gallery, which I sold to Peter, which he then spent a lot of time sorting out and getting to work properly, and that was at Rocks and Barnes there for a good few years. I think it did quite well. Peter might admit to it in the end. I think it did all right in the end, and it took a hell of a lot of work to get it up and running properly. But they're good things. Again, you don't see so many of those around these days. I used to love them, but they're brilliant things. David said, I like the 2.2 rifles, untethered with the Scottish from the war firing them off. Amazing shots. Used to let us kids have a go when it was quiet. Yeah. The Winchesters. Nice things. Are any, I don't see any. There's the tube shooter. That's not travelling anymore, is it? I don't think. And who else? Well, there was another live rifle range around, wasn't there, for a while? I don't know if there's any travelling now. Or if there's any anywhere. Live shooting galleries. I'm not sure. I don't think there are. I can't think of one. Used to be one underneath Brighton Pigeon on the West Pier. It's in one of the Carry On films where they go downstairs to the underneath the pier. Carry On. Which Carry On is it? Girls, I think. Peter says, last time I enjoyed an arcade was 3 years ago when I found 2 pinballs. Well, we just talked about that, weren't we? Pinballs in arcades, nothing else. No. It's been years since I've seen a pinball in an arcade. Peter Williams said, you're right, it's so large. Oh yeah, Coral Island. So we had a monorail. Oh yeah, the ghost train, like up. No, it's a monorail goes around the top, isn't it? The ghost train is ground floor, isn't it? I think. I can't remember. I've been on them. Hillbilly took a lot of work, but did do very well. Yeah. Yeah, I used to have those at, when I was a kid. We used to go to Wells next to the sea up in North Norfolk quite a lot. And there's one in the arcade there. I always used to like to play on. That disappeared. Yeah, they're fun things though. Again, it's about fun, wasn't it? It was fun. I suppose they're not very PC these days, is it? Shooting cowboys. I guess that's probably why you don't see them about. I don't know. All nonsense, isn't it, really? But yeah, these are all things. It's one of the things that I need to finish programming on the old website is on any machine page is a bit the public displays section. So that if you do spot a machine out on site somewhere, be it a pinball in an arcade or an Allwyn screwed in a cafe or something somewhere, you know, we can let people know where they are. So it's one of those things that's been there from the start, but I haven't got around to finishing programming it. It's on my big jobs list. That hopefully will get done in the not too distant future. Pete says, can't think of a hillbilly left other than at Pettit's. I didn't even know there's one there still, actually. No, I've not seen one. I haven't seen a hillbilly for... I don't think I've seen a hillbilly since yours at Rocks and Barnes, actually. Can't think of seeing one since. Dave says, had proper magazine, 2 bullets, not the lead shot pump loading 6 or 8 shot. Yeah. Proper Winchesters with the Octagon barrel. Model, whatever model they are. Proper little gallery rifles, a little short 2 bullets. Which are a lot more powerful than you think. I learnt from experience. Is it 1896, I think the model is. I think it's Winchester 1896. Oops. You just Google that. Um, 1895, 1894, 1890. Oh, it might be 1897. Can't remember. Um, 1894 lever action. No, it's the pump action one, isn't it? Let's have a look. Winchester gallery rifle 2 pump. Pump. That one there. Winchester 1890, 1906. Winchester. I'm trying to find the right one. 62A. 1906. Winchester model 90. Yeah, that one. Oops. What have I done now? How do I go back there? Hang on a minute. I'm trying to find a page I can show you. That one. There you go, there's one here for sale. Winchester model 90, yeah, 2 pump action, 1896. There we go. Found one. Found one for sale, I should actually. Here you go, Winchester rifle. Winchester gallery rifle. There you go. Peter says, I'd have a hillbilly again. if a site has enough footfall due to the size they take up. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? They take up a lot of space. A lot of space, indeed. You could probably cut one if you've got a long, if you've got a deep sight and only have it 3 or 4 guns wide, and have it deeper. If you were clever, because they tended to be wide, didn't they? Like 8 guns, or was yours 8 guns? I can't remember. It was 12, wasn't it? I think, or 16. It was massive at Coral Island. Absolutely massive. I think it was the biggest one that the biggest one Whitaker's did, I think, was the one at Coral Island. If I remember rightly, Peter didn't use all the guns. I think we sort of cut it down, put all the stuff in, but less guns. So it was a lot busier. It was nice. It was a nice thing. But it was all done and restored. 12 guns, yeah. I think it was 16. 18, I think it was at Coral Island. I think it was three bays of 6. 18 guns wide. I remember it took up a whole lorry to get it all on, with a lot of it. Terry says, excellent. Well, there, you can buy that. They don't take up as much space as pinball machines. Yeah, 18 at Coral Island, 12 at yours. That's what I thought, yeah. Yeah, my memory's not quite as bad as I thought it was. That was a good thing. You have to dig some photographs out if you've got any. I'll have to make a page for Hillbilly Shooting Galleries. It's a slot machine after all. And so yeah, I can't think of one. I can't think I've seen one on site since yours. There must be some left somewhere, surely. So they did a few other designs. I think they did like a gangster one. They weren't too bad. And then they did a weird kind of cartoony one, which I didn't like much. I can't think what theme it was. It was a strange looking thing. I don't think they sold many of them. So rather than sort of being realistic, as it were, like the Hillbilly Shooter was, it was all kind of bright colour, cartoony things. Strange. Yeah, give me some photographs out of it. I'll put a page up. It might jog some other people's memories and see if we can find any on site anywhere. Now, they sold quite a lot overseas. I remember speaking to Whitaker's about it. What's his name? It's not Paul, isn't it? Is it Paul Whitaker? I think it's Paul Whitaker, isn't it? If I remember rightly. I think quite a few went over to America. Manning's at Felixstowe might still have one. Oh, right. I haven't been there for years. I just like going there. Charlie Manning had the same penchant for cups of tea as me, so we'd always get for a lot of tea. Go in his cafe and then he'd go up the one drop the problem with him to one of his other cafes. Oh, we'll just pop in here for another cup of tea, and then we'll just go in this other and we'll have another cup of tea there, and then on the pier and have another cup of tea, and back to the park and have another cup of tea. And yeah, I think he drank as much tea as me. Good though, nice chap. That's a nice park, or was. I haven't been there for years, but a proper purpose-built Art Deco amusement park. If you don't know, if you've never been, it had a sort of permanent built-in dodgem track, permanent built-in fun house, kind of like cave things. I think were shops or stalls originally when the park was first laid out. Big fountain out the front, and a big double-deck building at the front with the arcade and cafes and stuff in. But last time I went for Felix, I think it was mostly a market. I think most of the rides and things had gone. I've still got here a lovely hoopla I bought from there. A big Lakins hoopla, like caricature panels around the bottom painted. Massive hoopla with trellises and rounding boards and everything. I bought two. The other one I sold to Mike Rule with the Gallopers. I don't know if he's ever done it or not, if he travels it or not, but that's where the other one went. And I kept one. Still in the shed here, out here. Paul says, yes, just inside the door. Ah, there we are. Then we found one. Excellent. I might have to go and have a look at that. Yeah, I must go Mannings again, actually, and have a look. That's so long since I've been there. So I think it's got a proper, or had a proper built, permanent built ghost train as well. It's all like permanent buildings originally, like all concrete and plaster, and I'm sure it had a ghost train. There's another place that deserves either a filmmaking about it or a proper book writing about it or something. Lovely place, or was. Also, it used to be an arcade in the caves back in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. Wonder what they were originally, the caves, when it was built. I'll have somewhere. I'll have a picture in a fit of manners. There was a big wheel in the park, which, when it was no longer used, they put on the roof of the big building at the front. And in a fit of madness, I bought it. And then had to hire a great big crane to get it lifted off. And yeah, one of those projects that seemed like a good idea at the time and wasn't really. There we are. We do these things. But somewhere I've got a picture of the. I know I've seen it lately. What have I done with it, I wonder? Of the wheel being lifted up and dangling off a crane. Paul says, all gone now, just arcade at the front and a few little shops at the back. What's all gone? What, all the buildings or all the attractions? Be a shame for all the buildings have gone. That all ought to have been listed. It was an interesting place. It's probably the only one left like it. Canvey Island was a bit like that, which all got flattened as all now houses, and cleared stuff out of there years and years ago. Paul says he remembers going, oh, what, my big wheel. Yeah, I don't know why I bought it. All the rides have gone. Yeah, shame. In fact, I say bought the big wheel. I think technically speaking, Charlie actually gave it to me because I bought the 2 big Hoopla stalls off him. And I bought something else there. I can't remember what, like some panels or something. I was having a cup of tea, as you do, and talking about the big wheel. And yeah, if I remember rightly, I think he gave it to me on the proviso that I got it off the roof, which involved hiring a crane and an Arctic wagon and whatnot. So yeah, I think it cost me like £1,000 to get it off the roof or something. But shows your picture. I'll have to find it. Yeah, I've seen it. It's here somewhere because I was sorting through some old photographs looking for a picture of a particular machine or something. So I know I've got them. God knows what I've done with them again now. I've got that many pictures and stuff about the place. But it will definitely come to light again. I've probably got pictures of the Hoopla as well somewhere. Yeah, got pictures of all sorts of stuff over the years. My daft projects. I need to start being sensible, I think. It's sensible projects. Things that don't involve big lorries and cranes and yeah, things. Paul says it was the last place to have a moonraker, but got put outside as a centerpiece on the jets. Ah, that's interesting. God, what a shame. Yeah, I think the chances of finding a moonraker are getting pretty slim. But you never know. Still might be one in a big shed somewhere. After all, we found one of these. We found a thingamajiggle. Oops. It says losing the photograph. Found one of those. Who would have thought? So there's still hope we can find this stuff. It is interesting, as I said several times, this late stuff is often a lot rarer than the early stuff is. Principally, I think because of its size, it's just stuff is just so big. Where did you put it? Only like Manning's. Well, we'll just stick it outside as a bit of decor till it rotted away, I guess. And then it just got thrown away. It's like when you see pictures of Butlins at Skeg and Clacton and whatnot with the scenic railway cars, big carved dragons and peacocks, sat in the gardens full of plants. When they smashed the rides up, they just kept the big peacock cars, like the auction rostrum is at the Elephant House. For those of you who've been, the big peacock chair. That's the back of a scenic railway peacock car. And yeah, there's pictures of them. You see them on postcards sometimes of Butlins sat in there. They just filled them up with soil, put plants in them, and obviously it just rotted away over the years. Also had a big wild mouse coaster there, but they caught fire years ago. Yeah, they had a few mishaps, didn't they? They had a big Chairplane, didn't they, which fell over. The centre pole broke on it. and it went like that. Yeah, maybe it's, I didn't do so well with the rides. Don't know, I always just liked it because I do like a bit of Art Deco architecture, and because it was, you know, purpose-built amusement park rather, with the permanently built kind of dodgem track and the caves and the funhouse thing. And I'm sure there was a ghost train. I might be wrong, but I think there was a ghost train permanently built. I wanted to buy the place. Now, if anywhere would make a perfect home for a fairground / amusement arcade museum, that would be it, really, wouldn't it? You know, restore the little park out the back and put some historic rides in there, and then restore the building and fill it up with old slot machines and stuff. Be fantastic. Probably no one would go, but it would be fantastic. Oops. But that is the only problem with this weird stuff we like, that not other people like it, to make it commercially viable, really. It's very hard to try and make it pay somehow or other. Of course, it's still got the water fountain at the front. Yeah, that's last time I went past there, which was a few years ago, the fountain was running. When at such times as I bought the stuff off Charlie, it wasn't at the time, but he it was on about getting it restored. I mean, it was just going back 30 something years. But yeah, it was running last time I went through, which was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't have time to stop. It was just I was driving along the front there for something or other. I noticed it was looking quite smart. But I didn't have time to stop and investigate, unfortunately. I'm going to have to go and have a look. I've had a day out to Felixstowe coming up. Yeah. Christmas project, maybe. Mind you, I don't suppose they'll be open. I need to go when they're open so I can have a look in the actual park bit at the back. See what's still there. Take some pictures. I don't know if what's the one up at what was the one that was threatened of being sold and demolished? Big deco place. Is it New Brighton, isn't it? I think Wilkies, is it? I think it's Wilkies. If I remember rightly. Hang on a minute, let me just find it. Yeah, there's an article for it. I don't know what's happened. Hopefully it hasn't been knocked down, but I haven't been up that way again. Beautiful building. Let me show you a linkety link. It's kind of the same style in a way as Felixstowe. Paul says, used to buy a lot of machines off Charlie years ago. Yeah, I bought a few off him. Wasn't that many left. I think you must have bought them all. I think I bought a couple of Brian's off him, and he had some governors in one of his cafes he was very proud of that he wouldn't sell. I remember him showing them to me. So we had to go and have another cup of tea there, of course. So, oh, come and have a look at these. We went traipsing up the prom to one of his cafes, and yeah, couldn't buy them. They just sat there looking nice and shiny. Yeah, I bought, I don't know, a few 11s, I think they were, nothing terribly exciting. Yeah, I wonder, first look at what we'll replace. Oh, there's a link here, look, I bet there's a load of crap. Oh, website's gone funny. Oh my God. Good grief, it's disgusting. Don't look at that, I'll get cross. We shouldn't be allowed to pull down nice buildings and build crap. Shouldn't be allowed, shouldn't be allowed. Yeah. Well, there we are. Well, I suppose I better go and have a cup of tea and probably call it a night shortly. If anybody is... I've just realised I've left this picture on. Go back over here a minute. These machines and sign, good luck if you're offering on them. If you're the seller, if any of the sellers are on, I don't think any of them are actually. I think everyone knows, I think all these people have sold before anyway, so they all know what to do, that's good. So hopefully if you've got offers in, they'll let you know by tomorrow night, if you've got them or not. And then we can start on some new stuff in the new year. Paul says, I've still got some German wall bandits on show and a Foursquare that's always jammed up. Oh, right. We'll have to go and have a look. Perhaps we'll do a trip there. We'll film something there, maybe. Especially if you've got anything that's come in your collection that's come from there, that might be an angle, mightn't it? We might be able to go and film a little bit in there. Be nice. Yeah, so as I was saying, yes, so good luck if you're buying or selling these bits. Any problems, ping me a message and we'll sort it out. The next video, let's have a look, when will we be? People have been asking, am I going to do them over Christmas? Probably, if I'm around, I will. So Tuesday, like I say, we'll do Tuesday as usual for the results, but possibly, if I go to Paul's filming, depending what time I get back, might not do Tuesday night. I'll keep you posted on that one. It might be Wednesday instead, perhaps. We'll see how we get on. Night Peter. I'll catch you soon. Yeah, Tuesday was the logical one, isn't it? And then we would normally do Friday, which is Christmas Eve, with new stuff. Well, there probably won't be any new stuff. And then Sunday would be Boxing Day. So yeah, I don't know. I will do a few over sort of Christmassy, New Year period. Whether anybody will bother to tune in or not, who knows? If you're bored, you might want to. Yeah, if you're fed up with Brussels sprouts and those relatives that are coming round that you don't really want to speak to, but you kind of have to because they've come round because it's Christmas. Then, or is it just our family? I don't know. Anyway, then yeah, you might fancy a bit of a chit chat about something or other. So yes, just keep an eye on the website basically, and email, and I will let you know what days we're going to do. But there'll be a few. So save up your questions, comments, chit chats, whatever. I've also got Halfpenny Falls. I think did I film it when I was down there? I think I did, didn't I? Halfpenny Falls. Yeah. I'm sure we'll find an interesting angle. We'll think about that one. We'll discuss that when I'm down. Yeah, so I think that's probably about it then for this evening. So don't forget, if you haven't put your order in yet for your DVD, to do so, because it all helps. Oh, from Charlie Manning's Halfpenny Falls. Excellent. Oh, well, there we are then. We'll see if we can do something with that. Well, nice, it'd be good to sort of film a bit of where it come from. Yeah. Very good angle in, mightn't it? Especially if they've still got a few old bits in the arcade as well. We'll think on that one. See if we can do something with them. Not only that, it's a good excuse to go to the seaside, isn't it? Peter says, happy Christmas one and all. Likewise, yes. We'll be back Tuesday night. Well, possibly not Tuesday night if I'm filming. Might be Wednesday night, but one or the other. We'll be on. So I'll catch you all before Christmas again, hopefully. And yeah, go from there. Right, I think that's probably it then. I'm begging, desperate for a cup of tea. And I probably need to go and empty the last cup of tea as well. Oh, New Year Eve, somebody said. Oh, why don't you do a New Year Eve thing? Seeing the New Year Eve. Okay, we'll think about that one. I'm not going out anywhere. I don't think anybody else is much because of all these stupid restrictions and daft nonsense going on. We'll probably all be locked down on Monday anyway. So maybe might do a New Year Eve. We could have a review of the year, as it were. We could have a look at all the stuff we've sold or something. Somebody else said do a quiz. I haven't quite figured out how we could do a quiz, kind of online, interactively, live video-y thing, really. I don't know how I could do that. If anybody's got any ideas, let me know. I expect to be naff all on television, so we might as well try and entertain ourselves, mightn't we, if we can, somehow or other. So that's it. Right, so let me just stick in here. Next video, can't spell, next video, Tuesday, or maybe Wednesday, if filming Tuesday. At 8:05 as usual with last results. Yeah. There we go, stick that on the end there for anybody who looks later and scrolls down the comments, as I know some people do, just to see what we've been chatting about. So there we are. Right, that's it. I shall bugger off, do some work, have a cup of tea, and I'll catch you all on either Tuesday or Wednesday night, one or the other. Keep an eye on the website or your YouTube feed thing. If you've hopefully you've subscribed under here, wherever the little subscribe thing is, and click the little ding dong bell thing, and you should get a notification. David says, don't want me sitting here drunk. I'm not much of a drinker actually, to be honest, but might have a small, just to be sociable. Just a small one. Yeah, I'll think on that. Perhaps we'll do something. If anybody wants to tune in, for a New Year thing, we'll have to try and find some interesting things to talk about. I might see if I can dig out some more photographs or something. See, other people could send some photographs in as well, and I could add them on, put them up on the screen, and we could talk about them. I'll think about that. Perhaps we can do something like that. You could send in your most embarrassing mishap with a slot machine or a fairground or something. I don't know. Answers on a postcard, please. Right, that's it then. I'm off. Have a good night. Good luck to the buyers and sellers of these 4 things. And catch you Tuesday or Wednesday. Any problems? Ping us a message. Nighty night.